do you make some value to the organization while making yourself also placement there?
The skill and the will to get there, which is why I jumped into it and I said, okay, let me try and learn it. When I came out of university and at my first interview, I remember this question, what's your 5-year plan? I didn't have a 5-year plan. Pushed me to think outside of my box. I think I've known it, but suddenly they asked me the question and you're shocked to say, I never thought of it like that, right? So they're pushing you to think differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you should be able to portray your CV saying that, okay, you are expecting something like this. So let me match myself and see how best I suit for this opportunity.
Going back to a little bit about when you said, oh, people when they send, CVs and expectations. I see a lot of CVs and a lot of the time it's just a copy paste from Canva.
100% agree.
Right.
Not even they have looked into the alignments as well.
Exactly. Copy paste from Canva. Times what students don't understand is a lot of them don't edit it. So every one of them is the same person. It's a Canva person.
Yeah, Canva person,
Right.
yeah.
Do you want to be a general manager or do you want to be a CEO or what is your ultimate goal? Then you don't have to map everything inside. You have to say, okay, for me to achieve this, I will take on different roles. I will do my 100% to be my best at it.
Key point is 100%.
Exactly. And that is what I did. Another thing that we tell new students is, okay, as a student, don't just do things of a student.
So welcome to the Inlife podcast show. So today also we will be doing very interesting discussion. So where you will benefited when it comes to yourself and also as a corporate as well. Today we have another guest. Who is coming from a unique background, I would say, but I'm not going to introduce. But later on you will get introduced who our guest is and then what we're going to talk. Now, before moving up with the guest, so let me set up a little bit context to the discussion. As you all know, in life, we are talking about how corporates and then the employees are connecting together to have better alignment. We see and also we have seen there are expectation from corporate end as well and also certain expectation from individual perspectives as well. Let's say this is purely focused for us to have supportive platform as a graduate, as an early career employment, who are taking up yourself in the ladder. So we will try to do a discussion very formal. No, it is informal discussion and practical discussions where you will have more insights. So having said that, let's try to understand how we can go about this. So I'm directly moving to Udara. So once again, welcome to the show, Udara.
Thank you.
And having you is a privilege for me as well, and then in live podcast as well. So you are very young and energetic as well. And the role that you are holding or the leadership ladder that you have come up to now is also an inspiration to others as well. So having said that, what are the success drivers behind this successful journey, having such a little young stage, and also what sort of the energy or the what sort of the live wire behind yourself? So would love to start from the discussion there itself.
So thank you, Malsham, for having me. I think it's an extremely relevant discussion to have today. So I really appreciate being here and thank you for that compliment as well. So if I was to reflect back on my career journey, one of the things that stands out is the fact that I've always been open to a challenge. And I'll give you some context to that. I studied international business. I started in the property and leisure sector. Then I moved to digital marketing and then I moved to the logistics sector. The message here is not to move around, but I moved around when there was a challenge presented to me and I took on that opportunity. So going into a little bit of depth, back 6 years ago, I joined the logistics industry as a manager. And I didn't really know anything about the industry. So when you join as a manager, there's an expectation that you know a little bit about the industry, you're able to make these decisions and, navigate through it. But I really didn't have any understanding of the industry. So I was kind of jumping in with my eyes closed. I took on that challenge because I knew that I could learn about the industry. I knew that there was an expectation. I knew I couldn't meet it then and there, but I
Yeah.
knew that I had the skill and the will to get there, which is why I jumped into it and I said, okay, let me try and learn it. Again, one of the areas was sustainability that was presented to me. And I found that really interesting. That was also one of the things that kind of made me switch. The fact that I got exposure into sustainability, an area that I didn't know anything about. But I thought, I can learn about it.
Yeah. You're jumping without knowing, but you have the
Exactly.
confidence.
I had the confidence and I knew that I was willing to do it. And that's always been something that's kind of been throughout my journey. So when I joined, when I came out of university and at my first interview, I remember this question: what's your 5-year plan? I didn't have a 5-year plan. I'm not a person who's going to plan so much. I knew that I wanted a career. I knew I wanted to be successful. I didn't have a timeline against it because it's my journey.
Yeah.
My journey is going to be very different to others. So I didn't know. And that was my honest answer. And I told them, I don't have an answer for a 5-year plan because I don't have a set way of going about life. I don't have a particular career journey or a particular role that I want. You can give me any opportunity and I will do my 100% to be my best at it.
Okay. The key point is 100%.
Exactly. And that is what I did. So I joined as a management trainee, and in that role, I had multiple different sectors that I had to go to. One of the things is I don't drink tea. I know that doesn't really match the country and society, but I'm not a huge tea drinker. But I was put in the tea sector, and their role is really to taste tea.
Tea, yeah.
So I was tasting tea, but I obviously don't have a palate for it. So I was struggling to do it, but I still did it.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was doing these different roles at different industries, whether it was going and working with chauffeur guides. It didn't matter to me who it was, what the role was. I just wanted to do something new. And I'm a person who doesn't particularly do a lot of textbooks and learning that way. I like to do things and learn.
Okay.
So I was willing to do
The
anything.
other way around.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was willing to do anything. And I think that's where I was able to learn skill. To me, it didn't matter who I was learning from. I can tell you that I learned from the delivery guy from the tea sector. I learned from the chauffeur guides to different people. And
Yeah.
you don't understand. Sometimes you always look upwards, but you don't realize who is around you. I will still recall the colleagues that I worked with in my different departments. Even just the way in which they kind of took on challenges, the way they had composure, those are things that you learn from, but we're not conscious about it. Today, I can reflect. At the time when I learned it, I don't think I knew it, but today I can reflect on it. So I think that was my willingness to work, my willingness to take challenge really, really helped me in kind of building my career. And the third point would be I was also willing to find myself a mentor. And that mentorship came from the fact that I was willing to learn from anyone.
Okay.
So as I went around learning from different people, eventually I met someone who was kind of willing to go that extra distance of sharing their knowledge, sharing their kind of expertise, giving me some attention in terms of supporting me to learn something else, understanding where I could improve. That person was willing to give me their attention and time. But that was also because I showed them that I was willing to learn. So, and today that has been, if you look at my last 6 years, that mentorship has really driven where I am today. So, going on the fact of mentorship, I strongly believe in mentorship. I today work with a lot of young professionals in terms of supporting them with mentorship. Having said that, mentorship is not the responsibility of the mentor. It's really the responsibility of the mentee.
Yeah.
That person has to have the willingness to come in, and the active, like we were talking about, the
Yeah.
energy,
Yes.
right? They need to initiate stuff. It's not
True,
my
true.
job to say, okay, this is what you're going to learn, because everyone's journey is different,
Yes,
right?
correct.
So you have to set up the times. You need to showcase that I'm willing to learn. I want to know this. Can you teach? Like, help me to figure it out. And don't expect the mentor to tell you, here's the textbook.
Yeah.
This is the page. Here's the word. That's not going to
Correct,
happen.
correct.
It's a matter of them actually giving you a little bit of insight to spark your thought process. Then you have to go and do the work.
Correct.
A lot of the people I work with, they will come. We do little sessions with students. They come with this really nice notebook and a pen,
Okay.
and they're sitting there and waiting very intently to write down every word you say, right?
Yes.
But
That is
that's
not the
not
real
what you're
thing.
there for.
Yeah.
And then you ask the questions, and they're like, oh. And I'm not asking rocket science. I'm
Yes.
simply asking, okay, in your lifestyle or in your life story, can you tell me a place where you've made this kind of decision, or you thought about this, or something like that? But they're completely blank because they're not ready for it. They're not used to it. We have practical sessions where we say, okay, here's how you do a presentation. These are the things. Can you go and work on it? And they'll do the bare minimum. Why are we doing the bare minimum? Because it's your opportunity.
Exactly. You should be
Right?
able to capitalize that.
Exactly. So you have to take control of it, and you have to say, I'm going to give it my 100%, like we discussed. And even if it's a practice session, today we had a preliminary discussion, but I also sat down to think about, what is it that I can talk about? What is it that I can bring? I know it's a free flow discussion, but some points, because it's important. It's an important place. It's an important discussion for us to have. So if I'm not prepared, then that outcome is not achieved.
Correct.
Having said that, you can't always be prepared.
Not
But
100%. But I have to
exactly.
have a certain understanding and the preparations.
Exactly. So if you actually take the opportunities and do it. So we were just discussing. I had a session that I did again to some students on employability. So I was able to, although we may have not had a lot of time, I was able to reflect on that and bring some of that discussion into this discussion. So that prep helped me in this.
Exactly.
So sometimes you never know when it's going to come. Sometimes you're never going to be 100% ready for the role, but you have to always aim for that. Another thing that we tell new students is, okay, as a student, don't just do things of a student. Your job is not to go into university and just learn. Your job is to go and learn new skills. Am I able to communicate effectively? Am I able to do a presentation, not just the university style, but to do it for a business presentation?
Corporate presentations.
Exactly. Is my hygiene good? That's a discussion that no one has. Hygiene. We think that to look professional, you have to have, for a woman, you have to have makeup and, fancy heels and jackets and suits and all of these things. Actually, no. That is what a lot of people say. That's the standard that a lot of people say. But that is not just it. You have to dress well.
Yeah.
But are you dressing well? Have you thought about your body odor? Have you thought about, cleanliness? You can't cover cleanliness with makeup, right? So have you thought about those things? And you can take the time as a student to learn those things. What is it that I can do in my lifestyle without, exorbitant costs and stuff like that? What is it that I can do to achieve this standard? And it's possible. In today's day, we have so many choices. So you can do it.
Options available.
Exactly. And like this podcast, right? How many students are actually actively going out and looking for these podcasts? Because you can learn from that. I don't really support going out and getting all the degree qualifications under the sun. But have you thought about effective communication courses? Can you learn a little bit about negotiation or decision making? Because decision making helps you even in your life, right? Whether you want to buy a phone or invest in something, you're making a decision. So can you learn a little bit of the tools while you're a student to do that?
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I think all of that really kind of drives down into how you can be successful. And it's important that people take the time to really look at themselves. It's self-reflection and saying, okay, I want to have an idea of who I want to be. And you don't have to have every step mapped out.
Yeah.
But for me to be this person, what is my first step?
Yeah.
How do I prepare to be in that first step? What is it that I can do today to kind of prepare myself and then get into that and the next role? Again, we were reflecting back on students and what we talk about during our mentorship programs. What we say is when you have the opportunity, you should at least be 70% ready for the opportunity. So if you have your soft skills and etc. ready, then jumping into that role and matching the 30% is easier. But if you have to learn the role from 100%, imagine if you're a manager and you have to learn the role 100% after you become a manager.
It's a
You're not going to
different,
meet the company's
exactly.
expectations.
So meaning
yeah.
that you are keeping yourself ready
Yeah.
before you accept the challenge or before you get the opportunity as well. But having said
Exactly.
that, you don't need to have 100%, but
Exactly.
up to a certain level, let's say bare minimum 40,
Yeah.
because where you build the confidence that I can deliver that thing. So interesting, actually. The points that you brought out are very, very unique as well. Let's say, for example, as an individual, whether you are asking a question like, am I competent communicator? So those are very reflective, I think, questions.
Yeah.
Having the experience of mentorship, so those questions are popping out. So interesting part is mentorship, because when it comes to even corporate seasoned employees, some we have seen they don't access this resource, right? So this is a beautiful resource, and then where you can benefit out of it. So rather, speaking by myself, I would like to ask why you believe mentorship is very important, and maybe couple of tips for you, like, the audience here, to understand and see, okay, how we can, like, pick a mentor. So what are the factors that they need to consider to pick a mentor?
Yeah. So I think mentorship is extremely important, and it's been a significant part of my journey because honestly, like I said, I'm not a textbook learning person. I also believe that I can learn from other people.
Okay, I would say,
right?
You need to try and see how it works.
Exactly. So when I was, and I explained earlier, when I learned from a lot of people, and when I finally met someone who was saying, hey, you're willing to learn, so let me show you certain things, let me share my experience with you. Because also, again, the point of it is all our journeys are different. Your journey is very different to my journey. My challenges are going to be very different to yours. It's going to be the same for everyone else, right? But the point of it is, you don't have to make the same mistakes I did.
Exactly.
You can learn from me, right?
True.
And when that, in my case, when that person realized that I was willing to say, okay, share it and I will do my best to learn it.
But you should be able to humble enough as well
Of
to
course.
accept that, okay, now he has done well.
Yes.
So I can't pick up from there itself, rather, like, starting from the scratch or zero.
Yeah. So I think that's what you basically, a mentor is a person that you will kind of look up to and reflect on their journey, so that will help you to understand what you also need to do.
Yeah.
Right? They will say, okay, when I was younger, I did this, I did that. Maybe you don't need to do that, right? But you can ask the question of why did you decide to do that? Okay, so if you decided to do it because of ABC, is ABC relevant to me? And in today's context, what do I do about ABC?
Correct.
And I think in terms of selecting a mentor, that selection process is a two-way concept.
Okay.
Right? Because you can be someone who is, you can look at someone and say, I like what this person has achieved. I want this person to be my mentor.
Okay.
But having said that, then the mentor has to also be willing to support you as a mentee, right? And it's not just about availability. In today's day, a lot of people who are in those roles are very happy to give you that time.
Okay.
Very happy. A lot of people are. It's just that, do you match the energy?
Okay.
like we were talking about, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because the mentor is not going to sit down and, like we were in school, board deke,
Liela,
Liela, make a
Aganina,
karana,
yeah,
mehima
yeah.
karana, like it doesn't happen
There
that
is
way.
no student and the principal or the teacher work
It
there.
is not that relationship. It isn't. In workplaces, regardless of whether it's a supervisor, a manager, that is not going to happen. And that is one thing that I think a lot of people expect. That's a huge shift because we're so used to someone saying, make a karana, mehima, 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 mehima. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Right? You have to realize that they will give you direction.
Correct.
And you have to now figure it out.
How?
Right? And that's where a lot of people struggle. And similarly with a mentor, they will give you direction.
Okay.
And you have to then go and figure it out. Like I said, for me, the best mentoring processes have been these questions where they have really kind of pushed me to think outside of my box. I think I've known it, but suddenly they ask me the question and you're shocked to say, I never thought of it like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they're pushing you to think differently.
Yes, yes.
And so that's where the mentor has to also feel like you're going to give back.
Yeah.
I really struggle when I go for these sessions with students where we're doing mentorship programs and they are just staring at me and looking at me. And I'm there saying, no, I want you to tell me. Do you think this is important? If you don't think it's important, how can I tailor the content that I'm going to share with you so that you will learn something? But I don't get that feedback most
Yeah, that's
often
the
than
thing.
not. I really don't. So then I'm like, are you getting value from this? And then I as a mentor don't feel motivated. I'm already doing this over and above my job. I have enough things to
Yes,
do.
to do.
Right? So why am I taking time and energy and effort to do that?
If they do not have sort of
Exactly.
passion and the willingness.
Exactly. So you have to have genuine willingness. Not to say, okay, no problem, I will do it and have a fancy presentation slide or something like that. And ඒ වෙලාවට නෙවෙයි. You have to really push and say, oh, okay, I went out and I found some articles or I found this video and share it with everyone or share it with the mentor and say, I found this. I know you said this, but this person is saying this. Can we have a discussion around it? That's the type of
Yeah.
energy you
Yes,
need, right?
yes,
And it's
true enough.
genuine energy. Again, it can go back to now when we say, okay, perfect energy, again, when we're talking about energy, is when students come and say, you told me to do a presentation. Here's a beautiful presentation and I practice exactly how you told me to practice. But that's not,
Yes.
again, you're just doing exactly what I told you.
Yeah.
I want you to go and find out what can you do differently.
Yes, yes. You have to put your thinking on it and see
Exactly.
what is the differentiation that I can bring
Exactly.
to create my identity, would say, or to show up my capability.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to a lot of early careers, they struggle with establishing themselves within the corporate or establish themselves in the organizations. So as a leader and the person who came across all the huddles, how do you suggest sort of insights for them to settle? Let's say, for example, who is coming as an intern, how they can establish themselves, how they can be valuable to the organization, rather doing like say අටපහ job එකක් කරලා හෝ මොනවා හරි එහෙම කරලා යනවට වඩා how do you make some value to the organization while making yourself also placement there?
Yeah. So something that we encourage with our interns is to go out and speak to everyone and anyone.
Okay.
Right? In the organization.
Are they going as we are saying?
Well, doing and saying are very two different things.
Yeah. Why I asked is we are showing up them the opportunity.
Yes.
But very few are capitalizing on it.
Very few are capitalizing on it. 100%. So you hit the nail with that one. We started off the conversation saying a lot of people have aspiration for this career. And I think when we were in school, something that people said was, get good grades, you get a good job. Right? So
with good company or something like
that.
Yeah,
exactly. So then our expectation is, hurry, I got good grades, I'm going to get a good job. That's my expectation.
Yeah.
But what we don't realize is To get good grades, you worked hard. No? So why is it that when you get a job, you're not working hard? Both need to happen.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't simply come there and say, okay, I worked so well when I was studying, now I have to get this job.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
Because your current capability is not sufficient enough for you to get the future
it isn't.
job or the expectation. Because you
Exactly.
have to, like, jump beyond the comfort zone.
And it's also two different environments. No? Like we were talking, school is or university. Well, university breaks out of that a little bit. They will give you the freedom to go and find out and do research and stuff like that. But it's very in different environments. At work, you have to work independently. You work within a team.
Yeah.
So your objectives, your deliverables support team's objectives.
Also, you have a certain frame as well.
Yes.
Because you have to be adaptable. Unless otherwise you won't relevant to there.
Exactly. But that is exactly what it is. You have to be adaptable. You have to recognize that your skill set in university, in school is very different. The concepts are the same. Communication is communication.
Yeah.
But are you effectively communicating in a business environment? That you need to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Going back to a little bit about when you said, oh, people when they send, CVs and expectations. I see a lot of CVs and a lot of the time it's just a copy paste from Canva.
100% agree.
Right.
Not even they have looked into the alignments as well.
Exactly. It's a copy paste from Canva. So one of the questions I would like to pose to the audience is, how many of you have thought about what are these skills that they have listed, right? And do you really know what the skill is?
What
You
their
say-
expectation is.
Exactly. Do you know? Now, a lot of people say communication, teamwork, all of these networking. So then I'm calling someone because I looked at the CV and I'm thinking, okay, let me call this person. What does networking mean to you? මං ඒක ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ.
Spot on. I'm 100% on it.
Yeah. So why did you put it? Right? Why did you put it? If you don't know it, why did you put it? My thought process behind a CV is that is the first step to convince someone that you are the right person for the job, right? For you to do that, the CV needs to present your skill set. So I'm sure you can communicate. Right? Now, another thing is we put communication, we put Sinhala, English, Tamil, and then we rank it.
Yeah.
Some people rank it with 10 balls, some people rank it with 5 balls. What does that mean? What does 10 mean to you and what does 5 mean to me?
Exactly.
Right?
It's different.
So then I call them and I say, okay, what does that mean? නෑ මට ගොඩක් හොඳනේ කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. Great.
Okay.
But I can't write in whatever language. But you've now communication 5
Yeah.
out of 5.
Yes.
So I'm saying, okay, why would you that doesn't, when I'm talking to you, you have to convince me.
Yes.
So your CV needs to convince me to say, I have the skill set relevant for your job. Please call me so that I can convince you while speaking to you about
it's a
my
revalidation
skills.
process, having the
Exactly.
conversation. Yeah.
So when we do that, so we're talking about communication, effective communication. Talk about how in university you have, now not everyone doesn't get an opportunity to stand on a stage and give a presentation or whatever, right? But everyone gets an opportunity at university to present. You can say, I did these presentations and I have tried these kind of communication skills, etc. So that you're presenting what you are also doing, right? And again, we were talking about CVs and Canva. Don't just take that template. Edit the template with who you are.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It is very important that you present who you are because that template is a very basic template. And a lot of the time, what students don't understand is a lot of them don't edit it. So every one of them is the same person. It's a Canva person.
Yeah, Canva person.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And then they're saying, why didn't I get the job?
That's the beauty out of it.
Right.
Because you believe now, when it comes to a poem, like, අපි කියන්නේ ඔයා ජොබ් එකක් හොයන තැනදී ඔයා හිතුවොත් ඔයාට තියෙන එකම ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන් එක සහ සම්පූර්ණ qualification එක නැත්නම් එකම qualification එකක qualifications ගානක් වුණා තියෙන ඔයාගේ let's say degree certificate that is for you to show up that you are knowledgeable on certain disciplines.
Yeah.
But how do you measure your application and the capability out of it, right?
Yeah.
So there you should be able to portray your CV saying that okay, you are expecting something like this. So let me match myself and see how best I suit for this opportunity. Because
Exactly.
even Udara, I believe that they are, I'm not saying like, criticizing, but
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because I have heard from couple of individuals who came through the interview process. Because සමහර වෙලාවට ඉන්ටර්විව් එකේ අල වුණාම මම පොඩ්ඩක් පැත්තකට කතා කරලා මම පොඩි cool chat එකක් දානවා, not to highlight anything but I'm trying to understand why they are failing, because I
Exactly.
saw they are like technically very capable, right?
Exactly.
When they are coming to articulate, they are in a problem. ඒක අහලා බලපුවාම ගොඩක් තියෙන්නේ either AI නිසා සමහරට අතරමං වෙලා,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Either they haven't go through the CV because of like you see the opportunities and you are sending out the same copy of CV
Yeah.
to හැම එකටම කොහින් හරි එකක් සෙට් වෙලා එන්නේ කියලා. No, you have to figure it out. Okay, අර කලින් කිව්වාගේ උදාර where I am going and what is my destination is. So in that manner how do I like build myself. So ඒක නිසා අහලා බලපුවාම එන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අරකට data ටික දාලා basic data ටික දාලා මේවා කළා. Some CVs we received, even they have edit properly their name.
Yeah.
Imagine. So corporate is not like that.
No.
Because you have to have more preparation. So you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
So as you correctly mentioned, if you have the over the phone conversation with the candidate and the employer, so if you can prove yourself saying, okay, I'm saying I'm confident enough, or I'm capable of communication,
Yeah.
not because of anything. I have done so many presentation at the university. At least that will give the confidence to the employer saying, okay, the person has done something.
Exactly.
Not just putting.
Exactly.
Because interview එකේත් ඔය කිව්වා වගේම අපි හැවුවම nicely they have put leadership, teamwork. So those are the skill set.
Yeah.
Okay, can you elaborate a certain the point that you have demonstrate this teamwork? Oh my god.
And ඒක තමයි, so it's important that you identify those එක කරපු වෙලාව, right? And university එකේ ඉන්නකොට අපිට ගොඩක් opportunities තියෙනවා. Team work වලට, presentations වලට අපි ඒ වෙලාවේ හිතන්නේ ආරයා මෙහෙම කරේ නෑ, ආරයා මෙහෙම කරේ නෑ, මෙයා මෙච්චරයි කරේ. ඒව තමයි අපි ඒ වෙලාවට හිතන්නේ. But අපි ඒ වෙලාවට හිතන්න ඕනේ මට දැන් team එකක් හැටියට මොකද්ද තියෙන challenge එක. Because ඒක තමයි employer වාගෙන් අහන්නේ. ඔව්, ඔයා දැන් team එකක් හැටියට මේක කරා. හැබැයි මොකක්ද වාට තිබ්බ challenge එකක්? ඔයා කොහොමද ඒක navigate කරේ? අන්න ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ අහනවා. ඉතින් ඒකට උත්තර දෙන්න ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඒ වෙලාවට හිතන්නේ මම කොහොමද ආරයට වැඩිය හොඳට කරන්නේ? ඒක නෙවෙයි important.
True.
අනිත් එක දැන් අදත් we are talking about communication and we are talking in Sinhalese and English to make it relevant to the audience.
Exactly.
But when you're going to a workplace, remember that you have to communicate in English, right? We are bringing it so that we are relevant to the audience, right? But it's so important that you learn to communicate in English. And that is written in English and speaking English. You should be able to read as well, right? Because email එකක් සිංහලෙන් ගහන්නේ නැහනේ. Foreign customer call කරාම මොනවද කියන්නේ? Sorry, මට ඔයාලට කතා කරන්න විදියක් නැහැ. මං AI දාලා ඒක translate කරලා කියන්න බෑනේ.
Yeah.
So එතකොට opportunity එක එතනම නැහැ.
නැති වෙනවා.
So අදම ඉගෙන ගන්න. අදම invest in it. Right? English courses වලට යන්න. And English courses කියන්නේ අර ABC ඉගෙන ගන්න course එකක් නෙවෙයි. Communication. Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Toastmasters is a
platform for you
great
to develop.
platform
Yeah.
for people. And ඒක university students අට තියෙනවා. club එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? කොච්චර ගිහලා debate clubs. අන්න ඒව තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් communication කියලා කිව්වහම ඒකයි මං කිව්වේ. හැමෝටම opportunity එකක් නෑ ගිහිල්ලා present කරලා ඒ වගේ වැඩක් කරන්න. But ඔයාට ගිහිල්ලා debate club එකක participate කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඒකෙන් එකක් දෙකක් තුනක් ඉගෙනගෙන දැන් අරයා ඇහුවාම ඒ කියන්නේ employer ඇහුවාම question එක ඔයා ඉගෙන ගත්තේ මොනවද? අර කියන්න ඔව් මම මේක කරේ නැති වුණාට මම මේ කෙනාගෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා මේ වෙලාවේ මෙහෙම තමයි communicate කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
Sure.
Right?
මොකද උදාර කියනවා වගේම ඕකේ බියුටි එක තියෙන්නේ corporate or employer won't ask from you to say A, B, C, D, how it like look like
Exactly.
things like. No, they will ask you to perform on certain task.
Exactly.
To perform that task, you should be have those tools in your armory kit.
Yeah.
Unless otherwise, you won't relevant, right?
Yeah.
So we have seen somewhere there people are struggling much. The beauty of that is even they are not willing to communicate that.
Yeah.
Let's say for example, if you are not competent enough that area, you should
Yeah.
be able to say that, hey, look here, I'm not very much like
Exactly.
into that.
Exactly.
But is there any like easy platform that I can access or easy way that I can
Exactly.
get it done? So that
Exactly.
communicate, that is also communication again, right?
Yeah.
So we are talking about like communication is very basic, the skill,
Yeah.
but that
You have
is
to go beyond that.
beyond that exactly.
Exactly. You
So having said that, as a female who is hoping to take up in the career ladder, and like visualizing their self to become a person like Udara, person like beyond sea level. So how do you see and what sort of approach they should take rather waiting up until coming to the corporates and prepare themselves? Can't be prepare themselves at the early stage when they as you correctly mentioned, studying and then doing their degree and taking up certain other internships or something like that.
So I think a lot of the things that we're talking about is relevant to both men and women.
Correct.
And I'm a person who believes that men and women should be there. It should be equal opportunity. But I don't expect something just because I'm a woman,
Yeah.
right? I have to work as hard as a man. It's simple as
True.
that,
Yeah.
right? Maybe life or our environment is different. Maybe a man gets a better opportunity, and there is
Yeah.
discrimination.
Yeah.
It's a fact. But having said that, I don't go into something saying, "Oh, I'm a woman, so I should be getting this," or "I'm a woman, so I'm going to be discriminated." That's not how I go through it. I go through it with, "Okay, I'm going to give it my 100%."
As
Right?
you mentioned
My
before.
100%. Exactly. For me, effort, energy, all of that is really what it is, right? Effort is working smart, not working particularly hard,
Yeah.
but working smart, but putting in that effort. I want something, I will go and work for
Yeah.
it,
Exactly.
right? So for a woman, I think something that we also kind of need to go or look beyond, something that helps us is to accept that, hey, just because I'm a woman, I have my challenges, right? But I will still do it, right? I will put 100%, regardless of what religion or sometimes there are people with religious restrictions, right? Then you need to learn to navigate around it. I think that is a whole discussion in itself that we can't address here today, but it is something that you need to do. But like you said, and like we spoke about before, it's so important, even as a woman, to build your mindset in advance, right? Just because sometimes people ask, I mean, I've had people ask me, ඔයා වරාය නේද වැඩ කරන්නේ? ගෑනු කෙනෙක් නේද? I'm like,
Oh
oh,
my god.
do I look like anything
Yeah.
different?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but මොකක්ද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ? And then they're like, what? Right? And I'm saying, I don't understand what the problem is. And they don't seem to understand why I don't understand the
Yeah.
problem, right? But that's the fundamental of it.
Yeah.
So many people are saying, "Bharaya neda වැඩ කරන්නේ ගෑනු කෙනෙක් නේද?" So I'm like, so
Yeah.
what? There
So-
are a lot of women working
Yes.
in the port.
Yes. So if you approach in the same approach the people are following, so you
Yeah.
can't be different as well, right?
Exactly.
So to make that differentiation, definitely you have to be different as well.
Exactly.
So what's the matter of working somewhere there? People are not like saying, okay, you can't work there, but you are working there.
Yeah.
Because that is sort of capability that you have. Because
Exactly.
everyone can't do that as well,
Exactly.
right?
So I can give you a classic example of this also, right? Now, we all have our biological challenges. Women will have their biological challenges, all of that. Today, we have women seafarers. We have women engineers on ships, gone out to sea for multiple months, how do you think they manage? And most of the time, they are the only woman on that ship. So හිතන්න දැන් අපි කොවිඩ් කාලේ ගේ ඇතුළට වෙලා හිටියාම අන්න ඒ වගේ තමයි නිකන් පෙට්ටියක දාලා තිබ්බනේ. ඉතින් ඒක හින්දා ෂිප් එකේ හිටියාමත් එළියට ගියාම මුහුද විතරයි තියෙන්නේ, right? And that's all you see for days on end. So how are those women do?
I think that is need, right? So if you have a need, willingness or the will and passion,
Exactly.
you will get there.
You will.
Definitely. How these early careers should portray themselves when it comes to, like, now a lot of people say that I have a dream, but if we ask, okay, what is the plan for dream, might be a good question.
Yeah.
So they are how they can, like, free mind themselves from the stage that they are thinking about, okay, I'm going to this place, I'm going to become a person like this. How do you create that need actually?
I think the need comes from the fact that you need to realize that it's not an entitlement. Right? Your dream, you have to work towards it. Unfortunately or fortunately, when we go to school, we are told, you work hard, you will get a job, right? To get a good job, you have to work hard. Actually, that's what they say. To get a good job, you have to work hard. But they don't say after that, to keep the good job, you have to work hard too. Right? That's not something that they talk about. So then we are programmed that way. Hari, good grades, good job. Right?
Yeah.
But I think what we also need to realize is, okay, now I have a good job. How do I keep it? How do I keep going?
Sustain it, yeah.
Exactly. And like we spoke about, for someone who's coming in new, right? Identify like a journey or the horizon for yourself, right? Do you want to be a general manager, or do you want to be a CEO, or what is your ultimate goal? Then you don't have to map everything inside. You have to say, okay, for me to achieve this, I will take on different roles. I'll give you another example from my life. Is one of my colleagues. She actually was our first female engineer.
Okay.
At our terminal, right? So she took on the challenge of becoming the first female engineer in a male-dominated industry, male-dominated sector, a company. We knew that. So she was the first female engineer. So she navigated those challenges. And eka nikang, just because she was an engineer and first female, company didn't do anything different. She had her challenges, but she navigated that. Thereafter, she took on a role in sustainability. Right? She thought,
Different
okay,
role.
exactly. Because today she's taken on a role in commercial and marketing. So for her idea is, I have this goal. These are the different steps I need to take, exposure I need in order to achieve this. She doesn't expect, just because she's the first female engineer, that she's going to become whatever her career, let's say, for example, if her career aspiration is to be CEO, she doesn't think engineer to CEO. She knows it's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
Right? Some people will go through engineering and get there. Some people may have to go through different divisions, different exposures and get there. But be mindful of that. Right?
Yeah.
And again, be open to that, right? I mean, I'm sure it's a daunting thing. When I joined logistics, everyone was like, do you know anything about it? And again, varay neda wada karanne. So I was not afraid of that. But I was also questioning, I'm going in as a manager. I should be able to make decisions. I'm going to have to lead some people. If they know enough and I don't, how do I help them to lead?
Yeah.
Right? But I thought, no, I will still do it. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, exactly.
I will get into it and I will do it. And
the
that's
determination, the courage,
Exactly.
definitely find a
exactly.
way.
So that's the need.
Yeah.
That's where you build that need to
Need.
learn and to be active and to kind of be on top of it, so that you get there. And that ultimate, you're working towards that ultimate goal.
Yeah. Go ahead. So when you go, like, go up in the ladder, so you might have faced different challenges. And can you come up with, like, one or two challenges specifically you had tough time and you had to put a lot of mind time to, like, overcome that is maybe like not common but even unique as well? So how do you navigate and overcome that, having the, like, need and the mindset?
I honestly think some of those challenges are because people play with your mind, right?
The psyche.
The psyche. right? It's your confidence.
Mm.
Now, some of those challenges, people will make you feel like you're not good enough.
Mm.
And it happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
right? It happens to the best of us. සමහරලාට it's just the අර එක ප්‍රශ්නයයි.
Mm.
එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවාම confidence ඔක්කොම නැති වෙලා යනවා.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And you can be the most confident person. If you're not having a bad day and you get asked that question, your confidence kind of is impacted.
Mm.
So then it's about building. Now, again, we spoke about what you can do, right?
Yeah.
You have to build your mindset to say, I'm going to be challenged. People are going to tell me things. People will sometimes say, you're not good enough, right? Or something, because you can be the best, but you can make a mistake, no? We're only
Yeah,
human.
definitely.
You can.
That is the nature of humans.
Exactly. So then the world doesn't end.
Right?
You
Yeah.
pick up and say, I'm going to get on with
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right?
But the only thing is you believe that, okay, world is going to be end from here itself.
Yeah.
And the other way around, we always concern about what others think and revert back to us.
We're also human. And whatever said and done, you will always be impacted by what someone else says.
Yeah.
But build up the confidence to say that's okay. That's that person's opinion.
Mm.
What opinion එකක් තියෙනවා, right? මේක
Yeah.
ලස්සනයි, අරක ලස්සනයි, මේක හරි නෑ, අයි අරයා එහෙම කරේ. That's an opinion. You don't need to put it on that person, right? Similarly, that person chose to put it on you. You can choose not to accept it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the difference.
Difference.
It's very hard to get to that.
Yeah,
Very hard, right?
The tricky point.
It is a very tricky
Yeah.
point. And it, again, like I said, it gets to the best of us, right? It's happened to me. And again, we also spoke about people not willing to accept that I have a area of improvement, or some people call it
Yeah,
weakness. I
yeah.
don't believe it's a weakness. I think it's an area of improvement. But we're not willing to know. I openly said, yes, I've had those.
Yeah.
Right? But not everyone is willing to say, because they feel like it shows a lesser side of them. Nah, if you communicate, then whether it's HR or your mentor or your team is able to say, Hari, you can't, ඔයාගේ weakness එකක් හරි, ඔයාගේ area of improvement, මං වාට මෙහෙම උගන්වන්න. ඇයි වාට මෙහෙම මම මෙහෙම තමයි කරන්නේ, ඇයි මේක try කළ බලන්න බැරි. අන්න එහෙම තමයි අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, tying it back, that's where we have to be willing to learn from anyone.
Yeah. Without
Right.
thinking about what is the the position, or what is the nature of their job or
Exactly.
the lifestyle.
You have no idea. I mean, again, the amount of things I learned from the delivery guy from the tea sector. He will go to deliver it. Yeah, delivery guy විතරක් නෙවෙයි. එයා ගිහිලා deliver කළා. එයාට කතා කළා, sir කොහොමද? අරක තේ බීලා කොහොමද taste කරාද?
So that is negotiation and communication, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that man is now teaching me, So imagine today I'm still reflecting about what I learned from him, right? And at that time, I probably didn't even realize I was learning from him. I remember we went to PETA and we were going into this shop, right? And he changed the way in which he communicated. එයාට කතා කරපු විදිහට නෙවෙයි.
අනිත් එක්කෙනාට කතා.
Yes. Because අරක office එකක, and that's how we also should be.
Okay.
Right? දැන් අපි අද මෙතන සිංහලෙන් or English වලින් කතා කරන්නේ because අපේ audience එකට ඒක important, right? But we go and sit in the boardroom, we're not sitting there and speaking in English and
Yeah.
Sinhalese and Singlish, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what that specific place commands, right? And today we're very casual, we're speaking, but if you're sitting in a boardroom and if you're sitting at a boardroom table, the way in which you communicate,
Yeah,
that also
yeah.
is very different.
Yes, different. Yeah.
Right? So you can learn from anyone,
Yeah.
and you have to just be willing to learn. And when you are willing to learn, that will also help you to build your mindset, right? To say, I don't know everything. I don't know everything.
Yeah,
Right.
even I think every one of us.
Yeah. So, and we spoke a little bit about AI. Now we take our CV and put it on there and we're
Yeah.
very happy, right? Use AI. Corporates want you to use these tools as well, right?
We are also using, right?
We use
Yes.
it. I use it too.
Yeah.
But don't use it for stuff like creating your CV. AI is not going to market you.
Yes.
AI will, however, teach you things, right?
And give insights for you to make it
Exactly.
better.
Exactly. So we spoke about a little bit ago about what can you do to figure out
Yeah,
your
figure.
career.
Yes.
We don't have a clear cut answer here. No,
No.
there is no make a mecharai making sini mecharai araking
There's
mecharai.
no formula.
There is no formula.
Right.
There is no ingredient list. There is no recipe for
Yeah.
it. Why don't you go and put it on ChatGPT and say, "This is my end goal.
Mm.
What do you think I can do to improve my skill set for that?
Mm. Yeah.
I am this person today,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
I don't think I can communicate well,
Mm.
or I can communicate in English, but maybe not well enough for business.
Mm.
How do I communicate?" That will then give you some tools.
Mm.
You don't have to pay money for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a certificate for it. Watch a video, right? Watch tools. We talk about things like teamwork, leadership. There are two concepts that we look at and we teach our interns and our students a lot, right? When you look at leadership, learn the concept of situational leadership, where you yourself can be a leader in a particular situation. If you learn the concept, when you are a leader, it's easy to apply. Teamwork. දැන්
Yeah.
අපි ඔක්කොම හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ අපි අර group work එක කරා university එකේ අපි ඒකින්ද teamwork දන්නවා.
Teamwork done.
Right?
Yeah.
Experts. But ඇත්තටම ඉගෙන ගන්න, what are the stages of teamwork? දැන් ඒක මට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙනවා because මගේ team එක very dynamic and අපි
Okay.
identify කරලා තියෙන සමහර roles interns අට විතරයි or students අට විතරයි. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලන් every 6 months මාරු වෙනවා. දැන් ඒ අලුතෙන් එන කෙනා අපේ ටීම් එකට ආවහම අපේ ටීම් එකේ ඩයිනමික් එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. දැන් ඒක අපිට ඇක්සෙප්ට් කරලා අපි කොහොමද ඒක නැවිගේට් කරන්න කියන එක ඉගෙන ගන්න අපි අර concept එක දන්නවා. නැත්තම් හිතන්නේ conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? මෙයා මෙහෙම කිව්වා අරම කිව්වා මෙයාගේ like some people are boisterous or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
But you learn that no, that person is not actually it's a person because you understand the concept of teamwork.
Concept of exactly.
Right? So that's what we're trying to tell people. There are multiple other things: effective communication, leadership, teamwork. You learn the ground, the theory, and all of that, and learn to then use it to apply it when you're working.
True enough. Yes.
And that will really help you to succeed.
But as you correctly mentioned, we think about very complex things rather focusing on the very essential and simple things where you can build upon.
Yeah.
As you correctly mentioned, communication will be very fundamental thing, but then again that is very very critical. Now imagine if you are not in a position to articulate your idea to others.
Exactly.
Assume that you are in the boardroom, you want to become a CEO, you are at the boardroom, but you are not in a position to articulate and get the buying from others for your idea. So how much you are capable or how much you are strategic, I think no point sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Not the whole every time, but සමහර වෙලාවට ඒක point එක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඔයාව ready කරන එක, future එකට ready කරන එක, you have to be think now.
For sure.
And don't think that okay, I'll go to the corporate first and then I'll establish. That is also good, but then again corporate expectation are something, I'm not saying different, but now world is changing fast. We have to deliver results fast.
Yep.
Right? And your learning curve will be very short, right? So at that short period you don't have much time to experiment and see. If you have experiment done before, so it's a matter of applying it, right? So therefore keeping yourself is ready very much important when it comes to this context. As you correctly mentioned, having mentor definitely will be advantage. So finally I would like to ask, so what are the top 3 things that you can suggest, maybe who is looking up to maybe a senior role at young stage, right? Because you have a good example to that, and looking at your broader profile. So we are not going to explain everything here, but then again you can find it how broad that profile is. So what are the top 3 things that you can suggest who is looking up to take themselves into the senior role at very young stage?
I think again, there's no clear cut recipe for
Exactly,
it, right?
based
There's
on
no
your opinion
answer.
and the experience. Yeah.
For me, I think one is, again, I keep going back to it, but that willingness, right? Because if you keep saying, I'm willing to take a challenge, I'm willing to do something different, I'm willing to do it, then you're giving the company also the confidence that this person might be ready. I can give them a role
Yeah.
and they will figure it out, or
Yes.
they will get through it. They will
Yeah.
navigate it.
Yeah.
Right? So then the company has confidence to say, yes, next role and the
Yeah.
next role, and you're
Yeah.
going to it, right? So I think that is extremely important. The second, and we've spoken about it so much, about learning and from everyone and anyone. Something I also remember and tell myself is, I'm not afraid, or I'm okay with having to report to someone who might be younger to me. Today, that's a problem a lot of people have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And we're talking about someone young going into a leadership role. If you're not okay, then a lot of people are not going to be okay. Right? You might be a leader and you might be very young. You might have people who are reporting to you who are older. But what if the person you're reporting to is younger? That's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
When you think of it like that, then you start thinking of, how does that make me feel? Then you put yourself into the shoes of people who you are going to lead,
Empathy.
who might be older. I don't think that age, again, like I said, for me, gender doesn't matter. But again, age also doesn't matter. It's about, we spoke previous to the discussion about maturity.
Yeah.
Right? And that maturity comes in different stages of our lives. So it's about being able to relate to the other person. And how do you do that is by putting yourself into
Yes,
those shoes,
yes.
right? So I think that's very important too. So willingness to learn, the willingness to put yourself 100%, those are probably two
And
of the
taking
most.
challenges.
Taking challenges. I think my colleague who I
Yes.
spoke about, every time a weird and wonderful challenge is coming up, she's saying, yes, I'll do it. I did some as well. So it really is
Yes,
putting
yes.
yourself, sometimes, I mean, it's a risk, but take a risk, right? If you're young, you have so many years to
Yeah, you won't lose anything, like, big, right?
Exactly. Even if you're not young, you're still not losing much. So that would be two. I think third one is building yourself a network, and also your mentor.
Okay.
Building yourself a network, you as a student can do today. What's stopping you from, when you go and attend a conference, right? A lot of students today get opportunities to attend a conference. How many of them come and say, hi, I would like to speak to you. My name is this person.
Yeah.
No. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම අර ඒගොල්ලෝගේ groups වල ගිහිල්ලා කාලා
එතෙන්ට
බීලා ඔක්කොම කරලා
they will
ගෙදර
go
යනවා.
out.
Right? No. Go start building your networks, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be overconfident and give all of this.
Yeah.
Just say, hi, my name is this person. I'm a student. I just wanted to come and say hello.
Yeah.
Where do you work? Can I know a little bit about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
conversation, right? So that way you build your network.
Your network is net worth.
Exactly. And your network doesn't have to be upstream, it has to be downstream and sideways also. You have to be able to know people to get things done, because people will support you.
Yeah.
This is where teamwork is important. We spoke about it. Teamwork is not just your team. Teamwork is
Correct.
going to be your people within your organization. Sometimes teamwork is even like your vendors and all of
Yes,
that,
yes,
right?
yes.
All of us
Yeah.
need to come together to
The
achieve that
360
objective.
you should have.
Exactly. But if you're not willing to make your connections with your vendors and stuff, how are you going to get it?
Exactly.
So networking, I think, is the third most important
Okay.
point.
So I think those are, like, very important for us to build our career and, like, project ourselves as well. So in overall, I believe that listening to you today, it's a kind of thinking game. It's a kind of mindset, because you took challenges, you were open to challenges, because you have that mindset. So no need to have, like, any other example saying growth mindset. So that is a growth mindset, because that is why you are accepting challenge, and also giving 100% what you are doing. So you are committing yourself to give 100% to that task. So definitely,
Exactly.
I think by itself, from the universe itself, it will support for you to make the possible outcome. So likewise, it's a kind of mindset that we need to build up. So that is why we are bringing up these podcast or the discussions for you to understand what sort of mindset we should build around us and what sort of people we have built as our ecosystem. So once again, thank you so much for coming
Thank
over
you.
here for this In Life podcast series.